Hello. So this class is going to be a class that is targeted at people that probably haven't done a huge amount of yoga and are not familiar with the postures. So we're going to try and keep it nice and steady. The thing about yoga is it's really about feeling how you feel in the postures. It's not specifically about getting the postures absolutely right in terms of what your perception is of the aesthetics of the posture. The postures themselves are tools that we use to bring our attention within our bodies, within our minds, within our breath, so that we can improve our concentration. And actually the physical aspects of yoga are almost a byproduct. But without getting too much into that, we're going to get straight into the class. So we're going to start the class with a little bit of centering. So find a comfortable position. Doesn't have to be with your legs crossed. You can take your legs out straight in front of you, or you can open your hips and let your knees come out to the side. But try to find a little bit of straightness in your back here. So wherever you are, try to lift up through your crown of your head, and then tuck your chin in slightly. And we're going to do a little bit of breath work here. So the breath work we're going to do is a little bit of box breathing. So as you breathe in and out through the nose. So breathe in nice and slowly. Feel the chest rise with the breath. And as you get to the top of the breath, hold there just for a moment. And then as you exhale through the nose. And at the bottom, just pause for a moment. So that's the basic principle. And what we're going to do with box breathing is try to count for an inhale for a count of 3 or 4, whatever works for you. As you hold at the top, try to keep that same count going for the same duration. And exhale for the same duration. And pause at the bottom and hold at the bottom the breath for the same duration. So that's the principle of this. And as you breathe in, try to soften through your tummy. Try to direct the breath into the base of the lungs. And carry on with your breath, with your focus, maybe drawing a box in your mind with each cycle of the breath. Okay, and you can continue this as long as you wish. It's a great way of calming things down. You can use it away from a yoga mat any time in your day if you just need to take some time out. So let's get the body moving. We're going to gently move the head from side to side, just feeling that range of movement in your neck, being aware of any sensitivities you might have. And then we go up and down. As we go up and down, tuck the chin in, and as we go up, try to squeeze the front of the throat. And then take the head round and round. Small circles at first. Just feeling your way. You might have some crackling in your neck, which, providing it doesn't hurt you, is absolutely fine. Pretty much. A lot of people have got this crepitude. And then go the other way. And then shrug the shoulders. So as you inhale, lift the shoulders up, exhale down. And as you exhale, try to release everything in the shoulders. Just see if you're carrying any tension already in your shoulders. And this movement going with the breath, you can speed it up if you want, or you can slow it right down. But feel that movement of your shoulders up and down. And then we're going to roll the shoulders forwards, rounding through the shoulders and backwards. See how your range of movement is here. Taking the arms out nice and wide, bend the elbows, fingertips onto your shoulders, small circles with your elbows, getting bigger and bigger. and then go the other way. Small at first, increasing the size, just feeling how soon tiredness sets in, fatigue sets into the shoulders. And loosen off your shoulders. Okay, rest your hands on somewhere on your knees or wherever you are. We're going to move the core around. So however you're sitting, just try to circle around your body here. Get the core engaged. Moving the body from north to south. And take a side stretch. So come to an upright position, take one hand down to the mat, bring the other arm over the top and stretch out through the side of the body here. A few slow breaths here. Again, anytime you attempt a posture and it's not right for you, it just doesn't feel right in your body, or it's really uncomfortable, hurts, then back off. It's not what this is about. We're moving the body into postures. We're trying to get a little bit of discomfort, a little bit of physical stress. And then when we use the nice, slow, steady breath to soften that stress. Okay, now we're going to come onto our fronts into a tabletop 4-point position. It's wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. And we're going to start moving the spine. So as you breathe in, drop the tummy down, lift the head, point the bottom up. As you breathe out, round through the spine, drop the head, tuck the tailbone under. Okay, feeling that movement through your back. All the time being aware of anything going on in your body. Okay, and then just rocking the hips from side to side. Take the hands out nice and long. Sit the hips back onto the heels here. And then take a big long stretch in child pose. And any time in your practice or any time in a practice, if you want to take some time out, this is a good posture to come to. As you breathe in, soften the tummy, allow the tummy to drop down between the legs or into compression into the thighs. As you breathe out, soften the shoulders, soften the head, try to drop into this posture as you compress into the hips. And again, breathing in to the base of the lungs, extending the diaphragm down. As you breathe out, engaging your pelvic floor, so trying to pull up the musculature between the tailbone and your coccyx or your pubis, just like you're trying to stop yourself from going to the toilet. And then breathe out, release everything. And breathe in, pull everything up again. It's great, this posture, for really engaging that root lock, that Mula Bandha we call in yoga. Okay, coming up to a tabletop position now. I'm going to straighten out the left leg, tuck the left toes in, nice and straight through the leg. Rotate the heel down to the side. And then if you're okay with the balance here, bring your right hand to a point where you can find some stability to allow your left arm to come off the mat. Turn the shoulders to the left, take the left hand up, hold here for a stretch. Now, if you want, you can take that palm to face towards the top of the head and bring that left arm forward for a big long side stretch here. And stay here. It's also okay to keep your hand up wherever you are. Maybe see if you can float that left leg up. Find a balance here. And again, it doesn't matter if it doesn't work for you. It's only going with what you've got in your body. Staying here, trying to keep the breath as steady as you can. Feeling that connection of the body and the ground beneath you, grounding down through the knee, through the hand. Wherever you are, come all the way back to tabletop. And we do the same on the other side. So from tabletop, straighten out through that right leg. Rotate the heel down. And then with some stability through your left hand, turn your shoulders to the right, take the right hand up and stay here. Or again, maybe challenge yourself if that's within your capability, your range of movement. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work out for you. Wherever you are, we'll take a few slow, steady breaths here. Keeping the breath quite slow, sort of controlling that breath. Breath is the bridge between our body and our mind. If we smooth out the breath, we smooth our mind out. So wherever you are, come back to tabletop, rock the hips from side to side. Okay, take the hands nice and long here. Take the knees out a little bit wider towards the edges of the mat. Turn the shoulders to the left. Take the left hand up and reach and look up at that left hand. Inhale here. On an exhale, bring that left arm under the right armpit, back of the hand on the mat. Try to glide it all the way across so the left shoulder comes onto the mat, and then rest the side of the head on the mat. A twist here. So gently push into the mat with the right hand as you twist through the spine. Hold and breathe. Okay, I'm going to slowly draw that left hand out. So press into the mat with the right hand to create some space. Draw that left hand back, return it to the mat, and go again on the other side. So with a breath in, turn the shoulders to the right. Take that right hand up. So it's stretching out through the front of the body here. And exhaling, gliding that right arm under and through, and as far across as you can, get the right shoulder on the mat. Then rest the side of the head on the mat. And take some breaths here, about 5 breaths normally. Gently pressing into the mat with the left hand to find a deeper twist, deeper stretch. Keeping the breath nice and smooth. Again, breathing into the tummy. Feeling what feels like it's pressing into the mat. Feeling what parts of your body are stretching. Okay, and then slowly drawing that right arm out and come back to the floor. Okay, bring the knees hip width apart. Tucking the toes in, sit back onto the heels. When you're ready, with the hands and the fingers quite open here, push into the mat with the fingers, the fingertips, the fleshy parts of your hands. Push the knees away from the mat, and then slowly lift the hips up as you straighten out through the legs and the heels come down to the mat. Try not to be tight in your shoulders. Try to let your neck be soft here. Let your head drop down between the shoulders. Look back at your ankles. And then from here, bend one knee to push the opposite heel into the mat to stretch out through that leg. And then cycle over to the other leg, stretching out through the legs here. Okay, and pedal through. This is downward dog. Okay, with the next inhale, come up onto your toes, if you can, as high as you can, heels nice high. Exhale, heels down. Bend the knees and then slowly walk the feet, little baby steps at first towards the top of the mat. Bend the knees even more, come to a bent knee forward bend. And then drop the chest down onto the thighs here. Grab hold of your elbows with the opposite hands and rock from side to side. Try to feel the shoulders stretching through the upper back. And then drop the hands down, tuck the chin in, roll to an upright position. As you come upright, engage in your thighs, your quads, tight, pulling your tummy into button in just slightly. Inhale the hands up above you, and then slowly float the hands down. Okay, so tuck the chin in, roll the shoulders forwards, bend the knees slightly, and slowly roll down. Vertebra by vertebra, all the way down to a bent knee forward bend. When you come, where your fingertips come close to the floor, bring your hands onto your shins. Inhale, straighten the legs, lift the chest and look forwards. A half forward bend here. Hold here for a couple of breaths, keeping the back quite flat if you can, lifting the head up, straighten on the legs, maybe leaning forwards onto the balls of the feet. Feel that tension in the back of the hamstrings and soften where you can here. Bending the knees, planting the hands down on the mat. Step the right leg to the back of the mat onto the ball of the right foot. Now bring the chest forward. So you bring this left knee on top of the left ankle. Okay. And then we're going to turn the shoulders to the left to take the left hand up for a twist here in this lunge. Turn and look up at that left hand. Still breathing nice and slowly. And bring that left hand down. Okay, step back to a plank on an inhale, level out the body here, shoulders on top of wrists, push back into the heels. And if it's okay to drop onto your knees if this is too much for your wrists, for your shoulders. If you're okay in plank, just for a couple of breaths, active through the arms as if you're pushing the ground away. And then drop onto your knees, tops of the feet on the mat, lower the chest and chin down to the floor. Keeping your hands just slightly, or elbows tucked in there, hands are pushing into the mat by the side of the rib cage. Peel the chest away from the mat, lift up through the crown of the head, and now pull the shoulder blades, the shoulders away from the ears as you find length through the spine, lifting up through the head, forwards and upwards, looking straight ahead or diagonally down, not craning your neck too much into cobra. And then release to the floor, push up into tabletop. And we're going to tuck the toes in and lift into downward dog. So send the hips back onto the heels, lift the knees away from the mat, lift the hips up and backwards, drop the head down between the shoulders, look back at the ankles. A few breaths here. Again, feeling that sense of grounding, stretching out through the back of the legs, sending those heels down a little bit further. Quite soft in the neck here. Okay, bend to the knees and then walking to the top of the mat. This time, we're going to keep the knees bent, the chest comes down on the thighs, take the hands behind, interlace the fingers, straighten the arms out, push the fingers away, find these arms nice and straight, and then slowly bring those straight arms forwards to find tension in your shoulders. And soften where you can. So as those arms come forwards, if you can, anywhere in your shoulders, as you exhale, try to release any tension. Find some ease, if you can, in some of these postures. Your chest might come deeper down on towards the thighs. Release the hands, drop the hands down, tuck the chin in. And this time, keeping the shoulders quite soft here, keeping the chin tucked in, a roll up to an upright position. Engaging your quads, engaging your core, rolling the shoulders back, inhaling the hands up. Stand at the top of your mat into tall mountain. This time, straight legs. If you can, if it's too much on your lower back, bend your knees. But if you can, take the chest forwards, nice and flat through the back, arms out wide. As you come forwards into a straight leg forward bend, taking the head and chest further towards the floor, find tension in your hamstrings, keep the journey going, lift the sit bones up, lean onto the balls of the feet, take the head and chest further down. But again, if you need to, you can bend your knees, it's absolutely fine. Driving your knees backwards as you lift the sit bones up, finding a forward bend here. Breathe in nice and slowly, softening any tension you can, taking the head and the chest further down. And bending the knees, planting the hands down onto the mat. I'm going to step that left leg all the way to the back of that, onto the ball of the foot. Then as you inhale, bring the chest forwards, bring that right knee on top of that right ankle. And when you're ready, turn the shoulders to the right, take the right hand up for a twist here and turn and look up at that hand. Hold and breathe, feeling that sense of grounding. And come back down. Okay, push into the mat with the hands. Going to step, glide that right leg back into plank. Again, drop onto your knees if it's better for you, if your wrists are quite sensitive here. But if you can hold plank, hold for a couple of breaths, pushing back into the heels, looking straight down at the mat and breathing nice and slowly, feeling the work going on in the shoulders and in the core. Drop onto your knees, tops of the feet on the mat, lower the chest and chin down into cobra again. So as you breathe in, peel the chest away, forwards and up, gentle pressure into the mat with the hands, elbows tucked in, maybe lift the pelvis off the mat, still lifting up through the crown of the head, still pulling the shoulder blades back down the back. Try not to hinge in the lower back, trying to get length through the spine. Come back down. Lift up into tabletop position. And then with the next breath in, float the right arm up to the side of the head and the left leg comes up hip height. Point the toes, point the fingers and hold here. Find a balance. Still breathing. Bring the right hand down, take the left foot out to the side and plant the foot down onto the floor, toes in front of heel, tuck the right toes into the mat, lean forward slightly, inhale. On an exhale, drop the hips back onto that right heel. As you stretch out through the arms, you find that tension in the left leg and soften through that left leg. Hold here for a couple of breaths. Okay, come all the way back. Come back to tabletop. And we'll do the same on the other side. So with a breath in, left arm comes up to the side of the head. As the right leg comes up hip height, point the toes, point the fingers, and look down at the mat as you breathe nice and slowly here. Find this stability in your body. Bring the left hand down to the mat. Take the right foot out to the right, plant the foot down so it's away from the hip, and then tuck the left toes in. Walk the hands forwards on an inhale or lean forwards on an inhale. Take the hips backwards as you stretch out through that right leg now. Find the tension here. Soften through the knee, the hip, and go a little bit deeper with the stretch as you breathe nice and slowly here. Being aware of the breath, of the tension in your body. If your mind wanders, come back to the breath. Okay, come back to tabletop. Tuck the toes in. We're going to come into a downward dog again. So lean the hips back onto the heels. Push the knees away. Straighten the legs. Drop the head and shoulders down. Look back at your ankles. With a breath in, lift the left leg off of the mat. As high as you can into three-legged dog. Push into the mat with the right heel. Even pressure through both hands. And then bring that left leg down. Ground through the left leg. And then inhale the right leg up into a three-legged dog. Bring the right leg down. Bend the knees, look forwards between the hands and walk to the top of the mat. Okay, from here, keep the feet hip width apart, drop the hips down, and then with an inhale, sweep the arms forwards into chair pose. As you lift the arms up in front of you, drop the hips down. Okay, looking forwards or looking up between the hands. Holding here, feeling the work going on in the body. It's really intense posture, this. Anytime you need to come out, then drop out of it or come into a standing position. But you can hold here for a few breaths, really working those glutes, those quads. And then slowly fold forward, so bent knee forward bend. Lift your hands onto your shins, lift the chest up into a half forward bend, so flat through the back here. And then slowly dropping the chest down, bend to the knees, roll into an upright position. Inhale the hands up, go for some length and height through the body. Exhale the hands down. Okay, from here, let's take the feet a little bit wider apart. Inhale the hands up nice and high. On an exhale, bend to the left, take the left hand down to the side of the leg and the right hand over. Trying to keep the pelvis here quite straight. So the stretch is coming through the side of the body. And if you have the legs quite wide or just slightly wider than hip width apart, this does stabilize your pelvis. Inhale the hands up, float the right hand down as the left hand comes over. Up, bring your hands to your heart center. Okay, we're going to do a couple of quick sun salutations with the breath. So bringing your feet hip width apart at the top of your mat. Roll the shoulders back, inhale the hands up. On an exhale, try to keep the legs straight if you can and swan dive down to the mat to a straight leg forward bend. Hands on shins, inhale, lift the chest, half forward bend. Exhale, drop the head and shoulders down, bending the knees at the same time. Inhale back to a plank position, bringing your shoulders on top of your wrists. At the end of the inhale, drop onto your knees, chest, chin, and the exhale. Tops of the feet on the mat. Inhale the chest away and up into cobra, keeping the elbows tucked in, lift up through the crown of the head. Exhale down. Inhale to tabletop, tuck the toes in, sit the hips back, then exhale, lift the knees away, straighten the legs into downward dog. Inhale the left leg nice and high into three-legged dog. Exhale it down. Inhale the right leg nice and high. And exhale it down, bending the knees. Inhale, walk to the top of the mat. Exhale into a straight leg forward bend as you fold forwards, head and chest down, lift up the sit bones, bending the knees. Slowly inhale, come all the way up as the hands come up to the top of the head above you. And then exhale, swan dive down again, straight leg forward bend. Hands come to shins. Inhale, lift the chest. Working with your breath now, bend the knees. Exhale, plant the hands down to the floor. Inhale back to a plank position, bringing your shoulders on top of your wrists at the end of the inhale, engaging your core. And exhale, drop down, knees, chest, chin, tops of the feet on the mat. Inhale, pull through and up into cobra, lifting the pelvis off the mat, lifting up through the crown of the head at the end of the inhale. And exhale, release. Inhale to tabletop, hips back, tuck the toes in, exhale into downward dog. Inhale, left leg nice and high, three-legged dog. Exhale it down. Breathe the right leg nice and high. And the inhale. Exhale down, bending the knees. Inhale as you walk to the top of the mat. And exhale into a straight leg forward bend. Tucking the chin in, bending the knees. Inhale up to standing. Inhale the hands up above you. Exhale, bring the hands down to your heart center. From here, you're going to lean forward slightly, push into the mat with the right foot, step the left leg back, find a lunge here, okay? And then take the hands up above you, looking forwards, right knee tracking over right toes. Inhale here, and exhale. Hold. Even pressure through both legs. Pushing back into that left heel. Hips pointing forwards. Quite soften your shoulders. So try not to shrug your shoulders. Keeping the breath nice and steady. Okay. And we're going to take a transition to warrior two. So stay looking forwards. Drop your right arm in front of you, palm facing down. Take your left hand behind you, palm facing down, shoulder height, and then turn into the left slightly with your chest. Soften the shoulders. Then turn your head and look over the middle finger of the right hand. Rotate your left heel down. Okay, this is warrior two now. Okay, now grounding through the outer edge of your left foot. And then your right knee is pointing towards your right pinky. Inhaling, lengthening through the arms and looking forwards over that right finger. Exhale, bend the knee to drop into this posture. Okay. Now turn your right palm to face up. On a slow inhale, lean back, taking that left hand back and the right hand comes over. Turn and look up at that right hand into a reverse warrior. And exhale, come back to warrior. You turn that palm down, stay stirred to look to the front. Do that again. Inhale, lean back, look up. Going a little bit further this time. And exhale to warrior two. Okay, inhale here. On an exhale, we're going to windmill down, turn both feet in line. Hands come down all the way to the floor. Step back into a downward dog. And pedal out the legs here. Inhale through into a plank. Exhale all the way down, knees, chest, chin. Inhale up into cobra. Exhale down. Inhale into tabletop. Hips come back, tuck the toes in. Exhale into downward dog. Hold here a couple of breaths. Drop the right knee to the floor. Step the left foot forward between the hands and tuck the right toes into the mat. Straight, lift the right knee up, straighten out the right leg. Okay, when you're ready, we're going to slowly come to an upright position into a high lunge on this side. So again, looking forwards, find even pressure through both feet. It's quite balanced through the center, hips pointing forwards. Soften the shoulders, pushing back into that right heel and breathing nice and slowly here. Keeping your focus, keeping the work going on. And breathe. Feel the tension, the sensations in your body, and be okay with this. Just stay with the breath. Going to transition to warrior two. So start to drop that left arm in front of you as the right arm comes behind you. Palms are down. Rotate your right heel down to the floor, so point the right toes away. Turn your body into the right slightly, looking over the middle finger of your left hand. Just turn around here. Finding this posture. Okay, so rounding through the outer edge of your right foot and your left knee pointing to your left little toe. Breathing nice and slowly. Then taking that left palm to face up. Inhale, come all the way backwards, looking up at that left hand into reverse warrior, as far back as you can come. And then exhale, come back to warrior. We go again. So inhale with the breath, drop the right hand down, left hand comes up, turn and look up, go a little bit further this time. And then come back to warrior. And inhale, lengthen through the arms. On an exhale, windmill all the way down, turn both feet in line, hands come down either side of that left foot. Step back this time to a downward dog. Pedal out the legs here. And then come all the way forwards to plank. Shoulders on top of wrists. Exhale to knees, chest, chin. Okay, we're going to come into locust on this posture. So take the hands down the side of the body, palms facing down, arms are straight. Take the toes out a little bit wider apart. When you're ready, as you inhale, lift the chest, lift the legs off of the mat, look straight down in front of you and hold here as you feel the work going on in the back, in the legs, in the hamstrings, in the glutes. Breathing nice and slowly. And release. Bring your hands either side of the rib cage. Push your chest away, come onto your knees and sit the hips back onto the heels into charge. You stretch out through the back here, let the forehead come down towards the floor and breathe into your belly. Allow your belly to drop down, descend down. As you breathe out again, pull up your pelvic floor here. Take a few breaths here as you feel how the body feels and follow that breath. Okay, and then come up to an upright position, tabletop position. Step in the left foot forward between the hands, inching your right knee back a little bit, top of the right foot on the mat. When you're ready, come to an upright position, maybe using that left knee as support, and lean into this lunge a little bit. So bend this left knee, pull your tummy button in, take the hands out nice and high, looking forwards into a crescent moon posture. And then bend your elbows, bring your fingertips behind your ears, just not pressing into the head, but when they're here, Lean back slightly, pull the elbows back, push the chest forwards, inhale and exhale, lean into a deeper lunge here. So feel the tension in your body in this posture and try to breathe nice and slowly to soften things down where you can. Okay, taking the hands up nice and high on an inhale. On an exhale, fold forward, take the hands down either side of that left leg, left foot. Tucking your right toes into the mat. We're going to lift the right knee off the mat and straighten out through the left leg. Okay, as much as we can. If the knees are bent because the hamstrings are really tight, go with where you can go. Walk the hands backwards for some stability here. And then from here, wherever that tension is, you can walk your chest forwards or your back, get nice and flat in the back, and then maybe lower the chest and the back further down on that straight leg. Find some tension here. Push back into that right heel and try to soften again any muscles. Think about your left hip and try to pull your left hip backwards. This will stretch your hamstring, that left leg out a little bit further. Taking a few slow, steady breaths here. Continually processing the sensations in your body from the toes. Well, how do the left toes feel? What does that grounding feel like in the left foot? What can I release if I soften the tissue in that straight leg? Okay, bending that left knee, walking the hands forwards. We're going to step this right foot forwards and see if we can take the hands further forward to stand up on that left leg and lift the right leg up hip height. Standing split. Okay, if you're here, stay here, and this is okay for you. If you want to check your balance, maybe float the fingertips off of the mat just to see how the balance is on that left foot. This really works your hip socket. And then drop the hands down. Slowly float that right foot down. Step back into a downward dog. Pedal out the legs here. Just loosen off that hip, that left leg. From here, inhale through to a plank. Shoulders on top of wrists. Engage in your core. Exhale onto your knees, chest, chin. Tops of the feet on the mat. Inhale, keeping the elbows tucked in, lift the chest away, lift the pelvis away. This time, push down onto the mat with the tops of the feet. See if you can lift your knees off of the mat, still lifting through the crown of the head. Shoulders back. And this is upward dog. But Cobra's fine. If Cobra's enough for you, that's fine. Drop onto your knees. Come into tabletop. We step the right foot forward between the hands. Inching that left knee backwards, top of the left foot on the mat. Come to an upright position, maybe using this knee as support. And then pull your tummy button in. Lean into this lunge here on this side. Then take the hands up, again, nice and high. Looking forwards, dropping the hands behind the back this time, interlace the fingers. Drive those arms back as you stretch out through the front of the chest here. Then lean into this lunge a little bit deeper. Feeling again, what's working? What can I soften? How's my breath? What's grounding down? What does this feel like in my body? And then release the hands. Drop the hands down just either side of that right foot. Tuck the left toes in, lift the left knee away, and walk the hands backwards. You straighten out through this right leg this time. Okay, try to get the legs as straight as you can. Go to that point of tension in your body. Push back into that left heel. Lift the chest and the back, the chest and the head forwards. Flatten the lower back. And then lower down onto this straight leg. Find this stretch on this side.
Breathe nice and slow. Keeping that left knee lifted, so pushing back into the left heel, grounding down through that right foot. Softening where you can, pulling that right hip backwards to stretch out through that right leg. Processing the feelings, the sensations. And then bending that right knee, walking the hands forwards to the top of the mat. Little baby steps with that left foot as you come forward to get to a point where you can straighten that through that right leg. Lift the left leg off the mat, about hip height. Find your stability here. And maybe checking your balance by lifting the fingertips away from the mat. And then dropping that left foot all the way back. Push into the mat with hands. Step back into downward dog and pedal out the legs here. And bend the knees, walk the feet to the center of the mat and walk the hands back to the center of the mat. Tuck the chin in, roll up to an upright position here. Rolling the shoulders back, inhaling the hands up, go for the height here and exhale the hands down. Come to the center of your mat. Okay, hands on hips, push into the mat with the right foot, active through the whole right of the leg. Float the left foot off the mat and plant the foot onto the side of the calf if you can, taking the knee out to the side. Find a moment of balance here. If you're okay here, then bring your hands to the center of your chest and then find tree pose. You can stay here or you can take the hands above you, stretch the arms up above you. Again, if you are able to, maybe go a little bit deeper by bringing the heel into the thigh, not against the knee if you can, but find out a balance that works for you and hold here. Keeping the breath nice and stable, looking at something in front of you on the ground maybe that's not moving, where you can fix your gaze, which will help with your balance, your focus. Bring your hands to your heart center, hands on hips, come all the way down, and then loosen off the ankles. So do the same on the other side. So really good effective grounding through that left foot, that standing leg. Bring the right leg to either the calf or maybe into the thigh, whatever works for you. There's no right or wrong. It's wherever you are in your practice. And you can challenge yourself by extending the arms above you. You can take the arms out quite wide. Sometimes this helps with the balance. But keeping your focus on the floor in front of you, something that's not moving. And then steady in the breath. It doesn't matter if you drop out of these balances. The important thing is to try and come back into them and find a moment, even with a couple of breaths, where you are in that balance, mindful in the moment, in the present moment with each breath. When you're ready, slowly come back out. Well done. Take the legs out nice and wide. Parallel the feet. Maybe pigeon toe the feet. Take the heels a little bit further away. Hands on hips. Bend forwards, keeping the chest and the back quite flat here. Just find some tension in the back of the legs. Drop the hands down. If your fingers aren't on the floor, maybe get a book or something you can rest on, a block. If you can get your fingers on the floor by heel toe, your your feet further away. That's okay as well. Find tension in the back of your legs. Pull your tummy button in, support your lower back. Press into the mat with the left hand. On an inhale, turn the shoulders to the right and rotate through the shoulders. You take that right hand up as high as you can above you for a twist here. Hold and look up to that right hand or look to the side if you don't have that movement in your neck. And breathe. Slowly coming all the way down. Okay, press into the mat with the right hand. Pull your tummy button in. Inhale, turning to the left, taking the left hand up and above you or out to the side as far as you can go. Keeping everything engaged here, your core engaged, but breathing nice and steadily. Acknowledging the work going on, but smoothing out the breath. Feeling what's working in your body, feeling that grounding through the feet. Softening where you can. Come back down. Well done. Okay, bring your hands onto your hips and slowly come up. Heel toe, heel toe, heel toe, heel toe. One more standing posture, standing squat. So bring your feet just about a mat distance apart, hands onto your heart center. Slowly bending the knees, dropping the hips down. Try to tuck the tailbone under so you're flat in the lower back. And then find a squat position. Wherever you find compression in your body, it's going to be different for everybody. If it's really uncomfortable in your knees, then come back out and go for a very shallow squat. You can find compression on your hips. Hold and breathe here. Again, whilst we're here, maybe breathe into the belly, soften through the core, pelvic floor. As you breathe out, engage your pelvic floor and pull everything up into the center. So use this moment to really work the pelvic floor. Whenever you're ready, drop your hands behind you and come down onto that. Okay, so you're going to come down onto our backs. Drop onto the lower back, bring your knees into your chest and pull and release your knees a few times here to massage your lower back. Okay, gonna grab hold of the back of our legs here, back roll here. So increasing the roll through the spine. Use the lower legs as momentum. Gonna roll up to boat if you can. So come up, find boat. If you can't, drop the feet onto the mat. Lean back behind the sit bones, lift the legs off of the mat. If you're okay with the legs, holding the legs, that's okay. If you can find the balance here, take the hands out, lean back slightly, so quite flat through the back here. Still breathing, looking straight ahead, your focus, your toes, the gaps between your toes, if you can broaden your toes here. And then dropped onto your feet. Okay, lift up through the spine here. Okay, take the hands out in front of you, pull the tummy button in, flatten the ribs, inhale here. On an exhale, float the hands up. As you pull the tummy button in even further, inhale down, float the hands up. Inhale down. Okay, from here, take the palms to face the floor. Inhale, reach the hands forwards. Again, keeping the core engaged here, flatten the ribs. On an exhale, slowly lower back. Inhale at the bottom. On an exhale, draw the chest up. Inhale here.
On an exhale, slowly come back. Inhale at the bottom. On an exhale, all the way up with your core. And one more. Inhale here. On an exhale, slowly come back. Inhale at the bottom. On an exhale, all the way up. Well done. And drop the hands down. They're going to come into a cross leg position here. Or if that's uncomfortable for you, you can have your legs bent in front of you. We're going to take a twist. So wherever you are, take your left hand onto your right knee, lift up through the spine, turn to the right, use the right hand for support here to come through to a twist here. Taking the shoulders as far in as you can. Maybe using the leverage, pulling the tummy button in. And breathe in, keeping the core engaged, keeping the bind going on. And with each breath out, maybe going a little bit deeper. And release. Okay, go to the other side. Maybe uncross and cross the legs if you have got your legs crossed the other way, just to see how that feels for you. But lifting up through the spine, right hand on left knee, left hand behind, lift up again. Exhale, turn to the left, pull the tummy button in, turn and look back, cross your left shoulder. Taking a few breaths here to build into this posture, go deeper using the leverage. And release. From here, straighten out the right leg, flex the ankles as the toes are pointing up, bend in the left knee, plant the sole of the foot into the thigh. Find your sit bones and turn your body so you're facing over that straight leg. Reach the hands forward, try to keep the lower back quite flat, lower the hands down, and find a stretch here in your right hamstring. And as you find that tension, take the head and the chin forward, the chest and the chin forwards. Softening through the left leg and find the tension here. Try to push the knee back down into the mat, to grounding down through that right leg. This will activate your quads, which will hopefully release your hamstring. So you might be able to rotate your pelvis further forwards once the hamstring lets go a little bit. It's very marginal, it's hardly anything, but try to do that. Keep your toes coming back towards you. So really working the calf muscles as well. And again, develop, grow into this posture with the breath. Using those nice, smooth exhales. As with each breath out, you go deeper. And drawing back from that. Take a counter pose. Take the forearm down onto the mat. Point the right toes. Take the right hand upwards and then let the arm come back as you stretch out from tip of toe to tip of finger. Really feeling that stretch through the right side of the body here. Maybe looking up at that right arm. Okay, come all the way back. Okay, we'll do the same on the other side. So straighten out through that left leg, ankle flexed. Bend in the right knee. We're going to plant that sole of the foot into the thigh. Turn and look over that straight leg. And then rotate the pelvis forwards. As the pelvis rotates forwards, the chest comes forwards. Reach the hands up even further. Gives you a little bit more leverage through the pelvis. And then drop the hands down. Find a bind here or a grip, wherever it might be, keeping the toes coming back. And look forwards at your toes as your chest and your head comes forwards in this posture. Softening through that right knee. So try to remove any tension there. At the same time, pushing the back of the left knee to the floor. So active in the quads, maybe softens the hamstrings, maybe you go a little bit further in this stretch. Taking a few slow, steady breaths here.
Remaining connected with your body. As soon as your mind wanders, come back to the sensations in your body. Try to work this posture. Okay, slowly coming out. Resting your forearm on the floor. Point the toes. Stretch up with a hand as you stretch out through the left side of the body now. And come all the way back. Okay. So we're going to do one more forward bend here, but a wide leg forward bend. So take the feet out as wide as you can, legs out as wide as you can, and try to fold, come forwards on the front of the sit bones. So the lower back is quite flat, chest is quite high. You can see my toes are pointing up, so my ankles are flexed. My knees are rolling outwards, so the femurs are rolling out in the hip sockets. This allows the pelvis maybe to come forwards a little bit and rest the hands down in front of you. You're going to feel tension in the hamstrings and the adductors can be quite intense. So only go to the point where you feel that tension and then try to soften into this posture. So breathing into those points of tension, those parts in your body. Nice, slow exhales. And slowly walk your hands back, get your hands under your knees and bring your heels together, soles of the feet together, and just a few floating movements with your hips here into butterfly. So keeping the soles pressed together, but floating the hips up and down. Okay, coming down onto our backs, pull the knees into the chest, massage your lower back here. And then keep hold of the right leg, straighten out through the left leg, point the toes, rest your head and shoulders on the mat, pull the right leg into the chest here and hold here for compression. And then keep hold of the right knee with the left hand, take the right hand out to the side, extend the arm, and then hold your head and shoulders on the mat, pull that right leg across to the left as it twists or turns the body through. Find this twist here and hold this right knee down with your left hand and then look towards your right hand for a twist here. And when you find this twist, try to soften through your body. But keep hold of that right knee, keep the pressure on there. Soft through your shoulders. Turn and look up at the ceiling. Slowly bring the knees back up into the chest again. Massage the knees. Straighten out through the right leg. Point the toes. Pull the left knee into compression. Hold here for just for a moment. Keep hold of that left knee with your right hand. Take the left hand out to the side, the left arm out to the side. And when you're ready, draw that left knee across the body, all the way across as far as you can for a twist. And then turn and look to your left hand and hold this twist here.
Turn, look up at the ceiling. Come all the way back to center. One more squeeze of your knees here. And then dropping your feet down. Rest your head and shoulders on the mat. Straighten your legs out. Take your feet to the bottom corners of the mat. Take a big breath in here. And as you breathe out, release any tension across your whole body. With your eyes closed, soften through your jaw, your mouth, your eyes. Scan around your body to release anything that's still active, anything that's still hanging on. And find this sense of grounding down through the floor as you completely let go now. Feeling the sensations across your body, what parts of your body have worked, stretched, grounded, how that feels now in your body. And feeling the movement of the breath entering the nostrils, through the throat, the windpipe. Feel the chest, the tummy move with the breath. And remain connected with these feelings, these sensations with your breath. The moment your mind starts to wander off, draw it back into the present. Stay here as long as you want. But I'm going to move on. So thank you for trying this class. Hope it worked for you. Hope to see you again, maybe in a public class, or hopefully you'll pick up some of my other videos. In the meantime, stay safe. Bye-bye.